pretty close.
It's the sci-fi universe. I mean, you got Warehouse 13 and Eureka crossing over,
really
maybe a little bit of that. So,
I mean, thanks to
Warehouse
Avengers,
13 crossover
you
with
might.
Eureka?
yeah, there's a character in it that the kind of nerdy guy.
I didn't know that.
The young nerdy guy.
Oh, shut up! Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, but
See, I love when they do stuff like that.
yeah, that's why Avengers
he was
made
in,
more money than anybody.
he was in 2 Warehouse 13 episodes.
Really? That's awesome.
That is cool.
Welcome to another edition of the Webcomic Beacon Presents First Issue.
I'm Marcus.
Guest star Jeremy.
Yes.
And I'm Fess.
Yes, he is.
And this is Archer Armstrong, #1
Archer and Armstrong.
Oh, there is an and there.
There's an ampersand, but there's a guy hand in front of it.
All right. Archer and Armstrong, #1 from Valiant Comics.
Archer Ampersand Armstrong.
Ampersand. This is going to be called from now on.
Archer.
Name.
Ampersand.
Name a son that.
Right.
Oh my God! Could you imagine? That would totally be good for like a punk song.
Like if their last name's Armstrong and just
Yeah, Archer. Oh my God!
Archer ampersand Armstrong.
Like this is the ampersand is spelled
Is the
out.
middle
That's
name,
the middle
yeah.
name. Dude, we need that's to be
That would be a kick-ass name.
That would be a kick-ass name, man. Because especially earlier, before Valiant came back, that would have been like such a esoteric reference.
Right.
You know, just like Archer ampersand Armstrong. Like, holy shit, y'all read that too? You know, hell yeah. Okay,
So this cover, what do you guys think about it?
it gives you what I expect to be happening sooner or later.
Yep.
I think these are the same aliens, or might be because of the green blood. Is
No,
that?
that's glass.
it took me a while. That's actually glass from this bottle he's holding.
Oh,
I thought that was like a sort of like blood or liquid too when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Never mind.
Busting
But
a
still,
bottle across his face.
I think it's cool because first of all, they look very similar, but like an updated version
Mm-hmm.
of the original. But I like how much they kept of Armstrong's kind of hobo look.
Right.
Like if you look at the old Archer and Armstrong, he's darn near the same.
Okay.
Also, he's extremely old as we turned out.
But yeah, very action-packed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of movement in it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's a blank background,
Right.
You need a little more,
which I'm not always a fan
It's
of.
so stark with how detailed they are with such
right.
a sort of
Right.
a bland background. That's my biggest complaint. Granted, if there was background and it was as detailed, they might have just gotten so lost.
Right.
In fact, that could possibly have what had been happening.
Yeah,
and they
so I was
trimmed it out.
thinking it could have been that it was trimmed out at some point.
Yep.
But yeah, it looks good to me. I mean, granted, you at least know who is who.
Exactly.
Because Archer, he's got a crossbow. I'm
And
guessing
he's on
that's
top.
Archer. And he's on top. And the
Armstrong.
Armstrong's on the bottom. Much bigger, the same. Like, small guy, small print. Big guy, big print. It works very well.
That's actually a really good way of looking at it. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. But yeah, it works very aesthetically.
Not that the Archer is Archer and the strong arm guy is.
Armstrong. Yeah. Look, they were created in the 90s.
I know.
If their names weren't descriptive,
It's-
no kid would have known what the hell was going on.
It's still.
And besides,
goofy.
Liefeld already took strong guys.
Yeah,
so...
yeah. Oh God, fucking Guido. How about they named him Guido too? He's like one of 2 Italians in the whole Marvel universe. Him and Frank Castle. Castle ain't an Italian name.
No.
And then you can name a damn dude Guido. Jesus. But granted, this is the same group where Okay, I'm not even going to get into it. We'll be here all day to talk about racial issues in Marvel Comics.
You actually want to
I
keep
thoroughly
those?
enjoy Archer and Armstrong.
Do you want to keep those comments in this video?
No. At least I don't. You can...
Yeah, that's up to you, man. We actually have a reoccurring joke that Liefeld keeps coming in, and we're like, Liefeld, get out of here!
All right, because if
No.
I have to cut that out, I actually have to cut that out. All right, getting to this comic.
Bloodshot number 2. Yeah!
No, this isn't like the other comics where there's extra info. This is just
Yeah.
an ad.
Yeah,
Just
I
mad.
know. That would have been cool. I wish they'd done with all of them, but I suppose only certain ones really need that
Right.
extra.
yeah.
But then again, this one kind of does, and we'll get to that. But
A little bit.
a little bit.
It does a good
but
job.
It's a little bit more lead-in. So
Yeah.
we're in ancient times again, possibly.
And it's Tuesday.
Ancient
Yep.
Mesopotamia, before the Great Cataclysm,
Yes.
and it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. This matters.
So there's these 3 brothers. One is dead, and there's eldest and the middleest.
yes.
having
middle list.
Yeah, they're having an argument about. I'm gonna use this.
He seems to be wanting to bring him back
boon
to life.
to bring our brother back to life, even though he was foolhardy and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
And he's like, "No, you can't do this, brother."
Yeah.
So
And he's just like, we got this thing. We don't know how to use it. All we know is that it's supposed to have eternal life in some capacity.
it clearly is not tech
Not
for
from
this
Earth.
time. Yeah,
It's not from Earth. Jesus Christ. And this guy's like, They say the eternal life is for gods alone. I say no. And then the no is actually spoken by his brother while trying to stop him.
Like, no.
Which is quite cool. But it turns out, he should have stopped him because he wiped out all life on the planet, which eventually made its way into the Bible, apparently.
Didn't this happen at some point in Alien versus Predator?
I did not watch that film because
it was in the flashback, and essentially this is kind of what happened long ago.
Whatever. I really hate the movies where it's like any technology built by brown people that we don't know how they did it had to be aliens. That pisses me the fuck off. So fuck Alien versus Predator. That's why I didn't see it. Anyway.
So we got this sort of, and we have a quote from Genesis, chapter 7, verses 21, 22, and 23, if you want to look it up. And then
what if it's wrong? That'd be funny.
Yeah, we cut to today of this little fat kid looking at this glass thing about heathen cultures.
Yeah.
And we find out it's one of these fucking
Jesus land places.
Where they're like, the earth is only like 4,000 years old, and
dinosaurs and man were together. It's like, I want to ride a dinosaur like they did in caveman times. It's like, geez, you got. But it took me a little while to figure that out. I mean, because the thing is, they almost allude to it too much to where I thought they were kind of joking.
Yeah, like this whole part was just a story. Like the first
this is a cool
4 pages, I thought was just a story that this kid was reading about or listening to.
I didn't even think of that.
Well, that's how I took it. Like on the overspeaker, they were telling this story, and that's what it was.
That could very well be, and that's a much better way to look at it than I did.
Yeah.
But like I didn't even realize they were in like a religious Bible land from that movie. So
this is now 10,000 years later.
Later it says
Still Tuesday.
Still Tuesday. Well, this is just 10,000 years to the day back.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and then we cut to Noah's Ark.
Inside Noah's Ark doing fucking kung fu.
Yeah. That's what I thought was so badass about it. Is you're walking around like, oh, right on, look, there's Jesus, baby Jesus in the manger. Oh, look, there's Noah's Ark. And little do you suspect that there's ass whooping going on.
Yeah, there's Kill Bill going on inside Noah's Ark. That is cool.
With Hunger Games kits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're basically fighting. So who's going to get going this holy mission, essentially?
Yeah, to kill the one who must not be. They're going to kill Voldemort.
Right.
They're here to kill Voldemort / Sauron.
Well, and then you've got Jim Baker and Tammy Faye.
Yes!
Who are his parents, like, manipulating this kid. And it's wait, what? Oh, you're doing this for Jesus. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they didn't tell him anything. And it's so crazy because I didn't expect to sympathize with him as much as I did.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, Christ, it's one of these
kids. I was so worried about this. And there's like this send-off. He's going to go out on this holy mission.
Yeah.
And here's like people he just
beat
severely injured. Look, this guy's got a broken arm. This girl's in crutches. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Hey, see you later, buddy.
Yeah, what it reminded me of is like sometimes with Amish kids, what they'll do is they'll let them go into the world for like 2 years. And if they come back, they come back. And they got to stay. Yeah, but if they don't come back, don't come back.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them come back anymore. But it's really interesting that they had that as an aspect of it.
This girl ran away.
Yeah, she ran away and came back. Yeah.
And basically, she's telling him,
shit is crazy.
Well, it's also, she's saying that he's never going to come back because he's stronger than her.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So it's like, wow. I really hope there really aren't places like this because this is fucked up.
It is, but that's what made it interesting because it's like you feel bad for him as you know he's just from a fucked up family.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it's not his fault that he's going to come across.
Essentially brainwashed.
Yeah. So it's like, but like it reminded me of a Moral Oral, if you've ever seen that show.
Yes.
I love that show.
Because like what I loved about it, what I like about Archer here is he wants to do the right thing. And he understands what the right thing is. He's brainwashed to a certain definition of what the right thing is. But that doesn't mean he'll just take everything by what they say. Like when he finds out later what his parents are really doing.
Right.
He doesn't side with them just because they're his parents. He wants to do the right thing, period.
Actually, we don't even get that far in this book anyway, as far as what happens.
Okay. Sorry.
No, did you read the number 2 of this?
No.
So you're basing it on conjecture.
I'm conjecturing, but I could tell based on. I mean, he's clearly horrified, and I won't spoil it till we get there.
Right.
But it isn't like he's like, oh, well then that must be right because my parents were involved.
Right.
No, he's like, the fuck, So I like that. That. He wants to do the right thing.
He's on this holy mission. He's in New York. the city of
sin,
the seedy underbelly.
Yeah. And
like
he's supposed to find he who should not be named, basically. So
that's what they call him. But I thought, like, okay, if you don't name him, how do you know when you found him?
Right.
Well, but they gave him this thing.
The thing that tells you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the little shuriken.
Due to some confusion,
yes,
he ends up beating up the wrong guy. A fight
No. This was absolutely because
he has this thing
shown through.
Right, it's pointing through.
It's pointing through to hit him. He attacks, and plus the dude's wearing, the
little devil,
the goats.
I was just trying to abridge this part, but
that's okay. But it's part of it because he would assume that that's something that he who should not be named would do.
Right.
Would be fucking with some poor lady, and it turns out, and like what I liked about it was when I read it and read their conversation, I get the feeling that they are either lovers or friends, who just have a Peggy and Al Bundy sort of relationship.
Right. Yep.
So they fuck with each other. They bicker. That's how they have fun. But he doesn't know this because he's from Morrilton.
Yep.
And he sees it as the literal words we're reading. Whereas we could read it and she's like, no, I don't want to give up my bra. It's $60, man. And he's thinking, that son of a bitch, what is he doing to her? He must not be named. He's shooting a little beam. It hits him. It's like, gotta be him.
Yep.
Jumps.
So we find
out. She punches him out. It's like, that's my boy. What the hell's wrong with you?
It was. We find out later it was pointing through to what we know is Armstrong.
Yeah. And I love this, by the way, because he's the bouncer. Armstrong's the bouncer here. So they're like, look, dude, quit drinking and go bounce. There's a fight going on. And he goes and beating everybody up. He's sort of helping the kid, even though the kid started it. But what I love is the way he uses his drunkenness as a weapon. Like, he's like, at one time when I can't remember what was the Yankees and Red Sox or something he was
talking about a guy telling him a story.
And then I said, he throws up on a dude. I'm like, that reminds me of like an American version of Drunken Master, like Jackie Chan, where it's like, like it's a more crude, not quite as, polished as the Drunken Master style, but it's the same idea where like you use this inebriation as a weapon. And I was like, that's cool, because who would expect that?
Right.
I don't care how strong and tough you think you are. When that happens, that throws you off.
Oh, yeah, your own puke is fine, but somebody else's puke, that's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Right. On you as a projectile weapon in the fight. The dude doesn't even fight anymore. He just leaves. Like,
Jesus. Even bigger than Armstrong.
He's like, no, that's enough for me. That's enough. So I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then they have their little team up.
Yep. And he finds out the shuriken's pointing at him. He's like, oh, shit. And he just doesn't think, no motion, just attacks. I was like...
Well, and what I even like, too, is how it alludes to something else. Armstrong knows what that thing is.
Yes, he does.
He looks, whoa, where'd you get that, kid?
Yeah.
And that's when he realizes, oh, dude.
He's got to be
Voldemort.
him. Yeah, you're Voldemort. Yeah, we're going to call him Voldemort from now on.
And then somebody throws a gas grenade in there. And I love how they're just this shot.
That's so great.
Totally.
This shot just is like, all right, this is where this series is going.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I just hope they become lovers.
Well,
I always hope for that shit. Mostly because, and we'll get to this in Harbinger. One of the main character from Harbinger in the original Valiant was intended to be gay by Jim Shooter until he was kicked out of Valiant following the 7th issue. There's a lot of shit going on. It was the 90s. So after that, the character was heterosexual, but I was like, that would be cute if they did it here, other than the gigantic Twilight level age difference, which would pretty much stop that. Because I don't know how old this kid is. He might not be 18. I hope he is.
But that's kind of the cool thing about it. If they went in that storyline, he's immortal.
Yeah.
So really, he may have stopped growing at 30-something.
He's 10,023.
But I like how this kind of sets up the buddy cop aspect of it. Here's them actually going through some shit as they continue, on into they're both imprisoned.
Yes. And we learn that he says that he's immortal and they've been trying to kill me for thousands of years.
Yeah, that's why he's not even worried.
He's immortal, but apparently not the Cheetos and beer.
No.
Well, just because you're immortal doesn't mean that you can't get, a little bit intoxicated. Yeah.
Well, you figure that because you're immortal, your metabolism might be up.
No, it just means you don't die. I mean, like for example, Pearl from Blade. Technically immortal as long as it has blood. I don't know if it's a man or a woman to this day. But, that doesn't mean that Pearl can't get fat. So fat that he or she can't get out of the bed.
Betty White.
Yeah, Betty White will live forever. She will outlive all of us.
Wait. From which movie?
Blade 1.
Oh, was that the guy that was
the giant is like, and then she's like shooting the UV light on him.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. He was so funny. It was like, they're talking about there's this story that was like, oh well, there's so many stories.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll tell you. Yeah. And like that's what I mean. It's like that. Just because you live forever doesn't mean you can't. Shit can't happen. To
right.
Which I like. I mean, I love the fact that this dude is muscular, but in a stocky way. Just in terms of comic book characters and their body types, because that's something that I
could cosplay as this dude.
Yeah, dude, so could I if I. Well, now that my hair is growing straight because of the.
But your hair is way too short. But
it's way too short, but it'll start growing again eventually. Right. But you know what I mean. But like because of him not having the typical Superman, physique. Perfect Olympics physique, it's really just nice.
That's another reason why I like the new Dial H comic.
Yeah, because that's something I always like is when you have varying body types. Right. That's the thing that always kind of throws people off.
Well, if only they would do that for women characters.
Yes. I mean, they do on and off, but it's always like a tertiary, quadrutiary character.
There was the woman from Suicide Squad. Oh, the black lady that they slenderized.
They slenderized her, yeah.
It's like, what the hell? I saw like an old picture of her. Man, look at that. She has so much character in that largeness and that stance. And it's like, you look at this skinny broad.
Yeah, I was like, this is not,
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller, yeah. Like, that is not the Wall. They call her the Wall because, she's like 5 foot nothing, but she's also 5 feet wide. Right. and you just don't mess with her because she is the chick Nick Fury.
Right. Yep. And we get to the final page. He breaks out and he finds out all these.
His parents are in a cult.
Golden idol.
As a golden calf.
Yeah.
Of all things. And it's like, greed is not only good, greed is holy. And I'm like, that's interesting.
And they're all like, haha, we totally tricked you. We did it mostly just to get.
Yeah,
we got Armstrong, which was like a goal already, but we got this piece, and we're going to put together the boon or whatever.
Yeah, because what the impression I'm getting is that that's a part of that machine at the very beginning that ended the world. And
but Armstrong is the only one that survived from them. And so that's why that's what I'm assuming is going on here.
Well, I just remember from the original there wasn't just one, but I don't know if that's the case here.
Right.
All right.
It's quite possible he is the young.
And so there's like, oh no, give us the fulcrum back. Our son, keep the boy. Yeah. He's a failure. It's like,
we don't want that.
It's like mother, father. No, that's what I was going at.
We see this look of total conflict.
Yeah,
because it's like,
I can either side with the guy I was told still the child was the devil,
right,
or I have to be with my family who work for the devil.
Right.
What do I do? And
so
I'm sorry. This is an adorable picture. There's a little image for part 2. Where is it here?
Oh yeah, I think I did scan that too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's so cute, little purple bubbles. So I'm like, I hope so, please, because that would be cute. Even it's just because there's such
a bit too much of a stretch. I think coming from a
way
super
too much of a stretch
culty thing.
Hey, but that could be one of the reasons why he's fucked up.
Could be,
but I don't think that's actually going to happen. But I'm just thinking, like, for one thing, completely off topic tangent. At least then it would be a gay couple with different body types because I'm really sick of both of them being fucking skinny 21-year-olds who look 12
with built.
Don't they all?
Yeah, exactly. That shit is annoying to me because
not all gay people are Chippendales dancers.
Exactly, and like that's something that messes people up when they're young. Right. I'm not going to get into it.
All right.
Archer Armstrong succeeds,
and I say succeeds as well. It's. We'll see if we'll go 4 for 4 with the next one. But this was Archer and Armstrong, Valiant comic number 1. Yay! 6 o'clock TV hour, looking at 4 hour session, Marie, turn, listen to yourself, journal like a mini uniform, about the burning, but legendary motive escalating, out of move, incinerating, light of motive, right, I can't step down, watch your heel, crush, up, all this speeds, no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear, turn them in, alive, you are solutions and offer me alternatives, and I decline, it's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.